Why, hello there, I'm Professor Joel, and welcome to another episode of Planet Scooby Reviews. Today we are covering The Mystery of Haunted Isle, which is the first episode of the second season of the new Scooby-Doo movies, and it originally aired on September 8th, 1973. This episode sees the gang on a picnic cruise with the Harlem Globetrotters, but unfortunately they end up on Haunted Isle. I don't have much in the way of trivia here other than this is the third Harlem Globetrotter episode. And while they're not voiced by the real Harlem Globetrotters, all the characters are based on real players on the team during this era. The Harlem Globetrotters also had their own cartoon that ran from 1970 to 1972 that had ended. And then they made some guest appearances on this. And then I think later in about 1979 to 1980, they had another series. And they also had a TV movie or two amongst that. And I remember seeing them on Futurama, which is a really good episode if you ever check it out. Unfortunately, all of the Globetrotters featured in this episode have passed away. There aren't many people living left from Scooby-Doo, the new Scooby-Doo movies. I think there's Cher, Sandy Duncan, and a few others. So far I have fortunately enjoyed all of the Globetrotter episodes, and I'm hoping I like this one too. Anyway, enough of my jibber jabber. Let's get on with the review. The episode begins with the gang excited to go to Picnic Island. Running out of gas, the Mystery Machine stops in front of an old fisherman's shack.
How much further to Picnic Island, Velma?
The excursion boat to the island's only a few more miles.
Good. I can hardly wait to open the picnic basket and get to that food.
Well, there goes our picnic. We're out of food.
We're also out of something else. Gas!
Heading in to investigate, they realize the shack is empty, so they search for a phone. Shaggy hears some weird noises from the basement, and they soon discover that the Harlem Globetrotters are down there playing basketball.
Hey, fellas, look who dropped in on us. Scooby-Doo and his pals.
It's our friends, the famous Harlem Globetrotters.
The Globetrotters have a big game tomorrow with the Ocean City Scorpions. The gang invite the Globetrotters on their excursion cruise to Picnic Island because what could really happen? It's just going to be a relaxing trip.
This old deserted shack looks like a good place to rest and practice.
We're in town for a big game tomorrow with the Ocean City Scorpion.
Well, there's no better place to relax than Picnic Isle.
You got a deal. We will relax on the island, come back early, and get a good night's rest. That's what they think.
So the Globetrotters fill up the Mystery Machine gas tank, and the two groups get in their respective vehicles and race towards Picnic Island before they miss out on the excursion boat over. Unfortunately, they arrive too late and the boat has set sail. They don't know this though, and a mysterious figure has also moved the boat boarding sign to an old tanker, which the gang board instead, thinking that's what's heading to Picnic Island.
The Picnic Island excursion boat's right up this road.
All aboard for Picnic Island! Hell, that's it. Shove off! Here it is, gang, the Picnic Island Queen.
Something tells me this ship is haunted too.
The Haunted Island Queen.
What a rickety old boat. I hope it doesn't sink.
Heading out to sea, the gang feels something fishy is going on because the old tanker just doesn't have anyone else on it, and they have no escape as the waters are full of sharks, barracuda, swordfish, and octopus.
Hold it! These waters are filled with sharks, swordfish, barracuda, octopus, and everything else.
Investigating, Freddy and the girls find a haunted wheel where the ship is being driven by a ghostly, invisible figure.
This ship isn't drifting, it's moving.
But who's working it?
Another ship's wheel.
With two hands on it.
Curly believes they are being sea-jacked and taken to a haunted island. On the boat, Meadowlark has found an old map of Haunted Island, which is how they have come to this conclusion.
It shows it on this old map I found. Haunted Island. Just as we planned. They're headed this way.
On Haunted Island, the gang are about to crash into a giant rock, so everyone abandons the ship. It is now nighttime, so everyone figures they'll rest and signal a ship out to sea in the morning. They also find an old mansion, so they enter it hoping they can spend the night there. Inside the mansion, the lights are on, so they rush in after being frightened by some bats.
Hey, there's a big old mansion up ahead.
Maybe they'll put us up for the night.
It's dark in here.
The mansion is decorated and creepy, with suits of armor, old portraits, and stuffed animals scattered around the building. We also get a floating Aztec statue which haunts Scooby and Shaggy. The gang and the Globetrotters split up into separate rooms for a good night's rest. The Globetrotters take one room for themselves and crowd the 6 of them into one bed. The bed gets even more crowded as Meadowlark wakes up with a suit of armor beside him. The Globetrotters have a tussle with the suit of armor and find a secret passage under their bed that leads them to a library where they discover some glowing books. Ripping out all the books, the Globetrotters look for an exit. Meadowlark finds some luminous handprints on the library shelves that brings them to a clock that doubles as a secret passageway.
It's luminous paint. Maybe these prints lead to a way out. A secret passageway.
Shaggy and Scooby also have a ghostly encounter and make a racket so loud they wake up Freddy, Daphne, and Velma, who go off to investigate. Velma finds luminous footprints, so they follow them, hoping they'll find everyone else.
Look! Luminous footprints!
Eventually, everyone reunites outside the mansion, and the gang and the Globetrotters spot 2 ghosts walking into a building, who is let in by a 3rd ghost.
They don't look like ghosts to me.
The gang smoke the ghosts out of the building and capture the 3 ghosts. Unmasking the ghosts, it turns out to be the owner of the Scorpions, plus the owner and the trainer.
It's the owner of the Scorpions.
And the coach and the trainer.
We wanted to keep you Globetrotters from sleeping tonight.
So you'd be too tired tomorrow to win the game.
They wanted to keep the Globetrotters awake so they'd be too tired to play the next day. Daphne figures out that everything that was scaring them was just luminous paint, cardboard statues, wires, and sheets. Everything, including the boat, was rigged to work automatically so everything would seem haunted.
Why, it's nothing but luminous paint, cardboard statues, wires, and sheets.
Everything was rigged to move automatically.
Imagine going to all this trouble just to make the Globetrotters too sleepy tomorrow to win the game.
With another mystery solved, the Globetrotters are set to play their next game. Unfortunately, they are tired, so the Scorpions are clobbering them in the court. Using some ice cubes to shock them awake, the Globetrotters make a comeback and win the game. I give this episode a 7 out of 10. This episode was good, I enjoyed it, but it was fairly bare bones. As the villains, they just weren't that interesting, and the set pieces, they were kind of cool, but I don't think they used them to their full potential. With an island called Haunted Isle, I was expecting a little bit more than this. Also, the mystery is solved at the half-hour point, so the last 10 minutes is just a basketball game, which I didn't mind. It's not a bad thing. It just made it more of a Globetrotter episode than a Scooby-Doo episode. But, I can't complain. I did enjoy this episode. Things didn't really feel boring or padded. The basketball game at the end, I did enjoy. So, 7 out of 10. It's just more of a Harlem Globetrotters episode, I felt, than a Scooby-Doo episode. And the Globetrotters are a complete joy to watch. I'd love to see them in more Scooby-Doo episodes. I'd like to see them maybe in Guess Who Scooby-Doo, where they bring back or just use modern Harlem Globetrotters and feature them in that series. I think that would be a lot of fun. Anyway, once again, I want to thank you for any likes, views, subscribes, and shares. It keeps me going. It keeps me motivated. These episodes do take a long time to make, especially the new Scooby-Doo comedy movies, because they are 44, 45 minutes long. So it's a lot of video editing to produce these. And, just seeing that I get likes every week is enough to keep me happy. So thank you for that. And until next week, when I will be covering the Haunted Showboat, stay spooky.